Hello and welcome to ErfDragon Art. So we finally reached part 4 of my Frankenstein's Monster 2016. As I said before, the quality of the video will be a bit lower than usual, only because I recorded it through my phone while doing Facebook Live. So I had it faced at the screen, recording it directly from the screen, because at the time the technology wasn't there for me to record directly from the screen itself. So do bear with me, but I have tried to enhance it as best I can. In today's video, what I'm going to be doing is focusing on the hands mainly, and a little bit of the skin tone and face. There are a couple more parts in it. I'm not sure how many exactly yet. I'll get to that point when we get there. But this is part 4, so I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with anybody else that might enjoy this. But I will say one thing. Do stick with this one. If you are enjoying this video, please do stick with it, because at the end, I'm looking to do a full enhancement of this particular character, where I put my new skills that I've learned into play in order to make sure that this particular piece looks its absolute best. At the moment it's okay, and at the time my skill level was a bit low, but I've learned a lot about anatomy since then, and I know that the construction of the guy that I did previously before isn't that brilliant. But if you stick with me, I'm going to make some enhancements towards the end to make this piece even better. So stick with it and let's play the video. Good evening. Alright, okay. I wanted to do some of this yesterday, but I had my brother come round last minute, so I couldn't really do anything yesterday. But I'm gonna try and do the next part of the Frankenstein's monster bit. I want to kind of try and get through this quite quickly, because I appreciate that I haven't done, although there's, you know, I've done a few bits on here, I haven't really done an awful lot. So I want to try and get this guy really finished. So I'm going to work on him today, and I can already see an area where I need to just improve on. But tonight I'm going to try and get this. Well, I'm just going to try and get as much done as I can. That's really the point of it. If while watching this you want to ask any questions, please feel free to do so. I will try and answer the best I can. I'm only going to probably spend about an hour on this. I don't want to spend more than that. Hope you enjoy the show. So, yesterday we did the trousers. Oops, move that down. As you can see here, I just put some nice shading in the trousers, which seemed to come off quite well. So I'm quite happy with how that came. So we're going to now work on his pantaloons, these two things here. But again, I don't want to. I want to try and not spend too long. Not spend too long on that. So let's see how we can get on. Okay, so. But one little thing I need to just quickly do is the trouser shade, because I noticed there were some gaps in it. So let me just fill these little gaps in. So get my little brush up. Just fill those little gaps there. Not too many. So that's the trouser shade done. Okay, right, that's that. Right, so this should be the pantaloons. Let's make sure. There we go. So I'm going to sample the colour. In fact, what I'm going to do is actually select the colour. So colour range, select the colour, bam. Now the good news is it doesn't look like I need to expand it this time, so that's excellent. Okay, so give him a group. I'll call it pantaloons. I don't know how you spell pantaloons actually. I guess it's that way, but I don't know. Okay, and a nice little mask. Now I can see on here, on this left hand side, well the left hand side of the screen anyway, there's a bit of a gap. So we're going to fix that first. So let's go in there, zoom this. Actually that's interesting actually. Okay, that's fine. Just seen something else on the trouser, but that's fine. I'll sort that another time. Oops, that wasn't quite the plan, never mind. Let's go back forward. Oops. Forward. Let's add that back in again. Okay. The old brush out. Make sure it's white. In fact, I'm probably going to turn this around a bit and zoom in a bit more. There's a lot of white showing there, so I want to kind of get that. I want the handling to really show through. This is one of the buttons. Another one. All these little gaps. Okay, now I want to do something else here. This is going to be quite tricky because I can't see the colours underneath it. So let's just try and paint this in. So what we'll do is we're just going to temporarily move it on the outside because then I can see where I'm painting, in theory. There we go. See, now I can see if I can do a straight line now or not, which I'm not, so... Let me zoom out slightly. This was the main bit where it just felt like this was just a bit too skinny, the leg part. So I'm just going to increase the leg size, leg thickness a bit. And like I said, I'm trying to do this really quick because I don't want to spend too long. There we go, that should suffice. Okay, so zoom out, rotate, reset the view, zoom in a bit. Now I notice down here it's gone a bit awry, so in fact I can put this back in the pantaloons now. There we go. Right. See, now all I need to do is go back to the brush and bring the quality of the bits I've just added. Okay, so that's that bit. So right, what I need to do now is get my old blender brush. Favourite. Add another layer. Get the darkest version of that same colour possible. And just paint in there. Why is that not? Hold on a second. For some reason it's not keeping the mask. I think I know kind of why. Zoom out a little bit. Now I know I'm being quite bold with this because, oops, let me not do that bit just yet. I'm being quite bold because I want to try and get this done quickly, but it's a bit of a learning curve to try and improve my painting. Because this part is actually taking me a lot longer than the actual drawing part element of it. And I'm going to add a little bit of a. Actually, let me get a different shade first. So let me go another shade up. Put that in the middle. Oops. There's a little button on the side of the what do you call it, of the stylus, that if you press and hold it with your thumb, it actually allows you to grab the picture and move it around, and accidentally hit on it. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in and smooth these out a little bit. Really? What, like these ones? Oh, by the way, Carlos, I don't think I didn't see you in the Facebook request. I'm doing a Guy Fawkes thing in a couple of weeks' time. I sent an invitation to your wife, but you're obviously welcome as well. But I didn't see your name on it, so I'll try and I'll try and see if I can find you and include you as well. It just wasn't showing up on my invitations screen for some reason. But that's on the 5th. Yeah, I've not had to choose like that myself. Okay, so that's that side. What I'm going to do is, to speed this up a bit, I'm just going to use blur at the end. I'm not going to stress too much about getting it 100%. Only because I'm kind of aware of the time, because you know, Halloween is almost here, and I'd like to get this finished before that date, or at least as much done as I can anyway. No worries, mate. I hope you're free. If you're not free, that's cool, but I hope you're free. Give me the King's Cross area. Okay. Right. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit of blur. Good old Gaussian blur. Now see, that works. That works quite nicely. Look. So if I zoom out, okay, so I'm going to add the opposite end, so add a bit of shine. So let me sample it right from the centre. And we'll go there. And just blur it. This is quite interesting because it just shows I don't need to put as much emphasis on complete detail as maybe I give myself when I put pressure on myself. The thing about this software is it is actually really, really good. But I want to learn to definitely get better with my painting. I think the trick is about just using the tools well. It's more about how you use the tools that you're afforded. I think that's giving quite a nice little effect as well, that on the shade. Let's go the opposite one, so the the dodge tool. Bring that out. Oh. Is that too much? Yeah, it's a bit too much. Okay, I won't use the dodge tool because I think it's a bit too much. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do these little buttons, and so but I'm going to add a little bit more depth to them. So again, I'm going to sample the main colour, which is that one. Go as dark as I can, but not too dark. Just add a little bit of edge on them like that. Shade in there. The funny thing is, I'm doing all this effort, but you're not, unless you're looking at the actual, really look at the picture closer, you're probably not going to see a lot of this in the actual image. Although in the little cards I'm going to do, you'll be able to see it clearly. Talking of that, one thing I'm planning to do is once I've finished all these characters, or at least for the poster for now, and possibly later on when I do other stuff, is I'm thinking of having giving the opportunity of people purchasing the, like gamer cards of these characters. So I don't know if that's something people will be interested in, but it's something I was thinking. So you can have a little, basically a print of these cards, which I think would be quite nice. Which I hope people will like and will be up for that. Okay, so add a little bit more here. And again, it's at the old Gaussian. Oops. And trapped. I think what I forgot to do is I forgot to put on a different layer. Okay, alright, I'm not going to worry about the blur in that case because I didn't put it on a new layer, so my bad. Bit too late now, so I'm just going to try and blend these guys in a bit instead. Like I said, it's still a bit of a learning curve for me to do this. I mean, this is the proper kind of way of doing it anyway, but I'm just trying to do this kind of quick because I want to, long and short of it, as I want to get to the interesting bit, which is the chest and the head, because that's the really, the deep, important part in my mind. Go back here. Right, so I'm going to burn first. Let's just give the roundness. I quite like the colour scheme in here, it feels very Shrek. So I think the colour scheme is working quite nicely. Right, okay. Okay, and then dodge, make it get smaller. Because they're buttons, I can afford to have a bit of a shine on them. Whereas with the pandas, I didn't want to have that. That's good. Okay, now the other one. So go back to burn. And dodge. Alright. Okay, so that's the pantaloons done. Okay, so I think, let's see what the next thing to do. Okay, bench trial shade. So you can hide that. Actually, the stitches is probably the next. Done those ones. Done the shoes. Right, so the next one in line is the skin. So let's start there. Right, so I'm going to zoom into the first hand. Now you might notice there's no detail on the hand at the moment. That's because I've got the outline hidden. So in order to do this well, I'll need to bring back the outline. So I'll bring that back so I can see now where the hand is. Okay. So once again, colour range. Select that colour. So I've got all of that. In fact, hang on, let me just do something quickly. Let's hide the outline a second. The reason why I'm doing that is because it's I've got the outline on it. It was hiding some of the fingers, so the outline was hiding some of the colour scheme. See now, oops. See now I've got the whole hand selected, so that's much better. Okay. So go back to where's the skin gone? Where are we? Right. So I've now got the mask on the skin. So all I need to do is just make sure, in fact let me do this, just make sure all of the hand is covered. In fact let me add the brush, go back to the ink brush, oops, sorry, I'm hitting all the wrong things too easily. Yeah, go to the next one. Too much talking in that one. Just trying to smoothen the hand a little bit. Although it won't probably look much different with the painting on it, it just doesn't look very smooth at the moment. That's it. There we go. Check the head. Just smooth some of this out. Like I said, the lines are not going to be in the end, so that's why I'm not worried too much about having the lines in it, but just for the sake of colouring I need the lines in just temporarily, just so I can mark the character. But I just need to get this all smoothed out, the eye there. Now I'm not sure. I know that this is Facebook Live, and it's kind of like a cheap version of Periscope, shall we say? So I don't know how clear the picture. Well, not how much clear it is, but how good the signal is in terms of capturing everything. So hopefully it is capturing things well. Okay, I'm not going to worry too much about getting all of this straight because it's quite a rough face anyway, so it's more about getting these bits done. So let's remove some of that. That's it. I think that's more or less fine. I'll just get rid of that little bit there. And that bit there. I'm going to have to rotate that one. I want to get it smooth. Okay. Rotate, reset. Go back to this. And zoom out again. Right. Now, for this part, I'm going to put the black screen on because it's quite light anyway. It's just going to make it a bit easier to see the colours and everything else. So that's why I've put the black on. Okay, so let's bring back the outline. Find it, okay, which is my guide. Zoom in a bit more, bring it to camera shot, there we go. Okay, so again, we're going to go for our blender brush. Oh, why is it up there? Okay, blender. Going to make this nice and big, and I'm going to take the opacity down because I don't want this to be too empowering, at least not at this stage anyway. So let's see, how was that for colour wise? It needs to be a bit darker, I think. There we go. Alright, okay, so and again, we're going to use the Gaussian blur as well to blend it all together. The other hand. This one's going to be more tricky because there's a lot more activity on this hand. So this one's going to be a lot trickier to get it right. And there's the dual shade of obviously the finger in front being behind. I mean, probably what will happen is once I've done this and I remove the lines, I probably will have to go over it just to make sure that all the lines make sense. Because at this point I'm using the guide to get all the elements together. And obviously there's going to be a lot of shade underneath for fun there. Not to mention this wee shade here. Have a look, see what it looks like without the outline a second. Not too bad. Not too bad. Ah, I forgot to put another layer in. Drat. Oh no, it's alright, it's alright. I was thinking I hadn't got a layer there, but I had. layers on these things. Sorry guys. That was a bad call on my part. I'm going to use the same colour, but this time I'm going to define the fingers a bit more. Just add a little bit of extra depth. This is still pretty experimental. So it's still pretty experimental. Digital paint is definitely something interesting thing to learn. Bearing in mind we've got these little nails. I've had this a minute. Let's see how this looks again. Okay, so that's what it's starting to look like now. So I'm going to add the blur in. But I'm going to just take a little bit of the blur. Oops, sorry. I will do the blur, but now I'm going to tone it down a bit. So it's not too intense, I can still see. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to add another layer on here. Bring my outline again, but I'm going to take a lighter colour. I think I need to mix, a nice mix in between. And I know it's not skin colour, but the reason for that is because he's kind of he's Frankenstein basically, Frankenstein's monster. So the skin would be kind of dry and some of the, I don't know what you call it, but some of the skin tone would have, I would imagine, has faded a bit. So that's what I'm trying to get at. Let's do it on the other side as well, because I haven't really done any on this bit. So add some dark in there as well. We haven't really done this one that thoroughly. I know it might seem like I'm not really putting much effort into this, but I'm just trying to get the base colour there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change to, I'm actually going to change the brush, the normal brush, and I'm going to try and make it a bit, in fact actually there is one called a details brush, so let me have a look what the details brush is, brush details. And it's quite small. I'm going to go dark, and again we're going to add another layer on it. Try and add a little bit of. Now I might need to still blur it a bit. I'm not even sure if this is going to work, but we can only try. does feel a little too heavy. Right, let me blur this a second. Let me do another. Right, I'm going to blur it a little. I think I need to tone this down a bit, make it a little bit more open. Let's go about 30 odd. I'm not sure if this is working, but we'll give it a try. Okay, now I'm going to take the lines off, the outline out, so I can see what it looks like. So that's what it looks like without the line, without the outline. So it doesn't look much different. And again, I'm going to add a little bit of a blur to it. Not bad. Going one is rotate a bit. Gonna pick a lighter colour. Go back to that brushing. What I'm going to try and do is now just add a little bit of very basic toning. The reason why I'm doing it this way is because, as I say, I tend to stick to what I know and what I understand, but in order to get better at anything, you've got to sometimes go outside of your comfort zone to learn something new, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to learn a better way of doing this. What I'm doing is I'm just doing the knuckles, because when you have your hands clenched, you tend to have your knuckles kind of showing. That's what I'm trying to do here. Okay, and again I'm going to blur it a bit, but not as much. I think I'm going to need to work on that hand a bit more. I'm not feeling it as much. Right, so I'm going to take another. In fact, let me merge these layers so at least we've got those together. And I can add. Because if I add too many layers, then it ends up being that I have to scroll up and down a lot to get it. So back to our brush. Let me shrink it down a bit. Just for these details. Because these are like the fingernails. Again, you know, you're going to have your knuckles is little lines on your end of your knuckles as you bend your fingers. So I'm trying to incorporate that where possible, or at least the feel of that anyway. Blur is your friend. Right, I'm going to try. Try and get a bit more detail.
It's okay, I'm good. Let's go!
I hope this is going to work, otherwise I will have to rethink how I will paint this.
It's okay, I'm good. Let's go!
Try and blur that a bit more. Just not feeling the fingers as much. Let me get the outline again. So I'm being a bit quiet, just trying to think how I'm going to get these fingers to look good. Right, if I can't get this tonight, I'm going to put this on the burner until next time, because I really don't want to spend forever on this one, because this is going to... I knew this was going to be tricky, but I think it's proven to be a lot trickier than I think I would like right now.
This is the MK Project B production.
I need to work out how I'm going to really make this work.
This is the MK Project B.
That feels a bit better. I have an idea how I might try and achieve this. I'll go back to my brush a second. Go back to my blender, change it to 30. I'll pick this colour and I'm just going to go a shade darker. Just try and get it in there. In fact, I wonder if I can just do the opposite. So I'm just trying to make this hand work a little bit more. To come back to these hands because I'm not. They are a bit. I know they're challenging, but I'm not really feeling it. So I may need to come back to those. Okay, so let's have a look at this head. I know that wasn't quite the plan, but I actually quite like the way that head looks. I actually like the way that blur looks. It's giving it a nice, interesting effect. But I just need to take it another level, I think. So.
This is the MK Project B production.
Try and get some. In fact, tell you what, let me try something here. So I'm just going to try it and see what this does. Because I kind of like, that's kind of not planned. I kind of like the feel of that. I think I might be able to work it into his face. give me quite an interesting feel to this character, this technique I'm using right now. Just like this here.
Untitled Project B production.
I think it's just adding an extra level of fun. Just a bit of emphasis on the scars a bit. It probably doesn't look like there's much going on, but it is actually adding a little bit of something. I can't put my finger on it, but okay. So what will dodge do? Will dodge do anything? I probably won't leave it like this creamy colour. I probably will add a little bit to it, but it's just giving it something I can't even describe. Okay. Let's see what can I do some burning. Here, probably just need some grey. Just to give some shape. Because obviously he's got a bolt here and stuff like that, so I'm going to give at least some kind of level of, there is some shade here. Actually, I've just realised something. I need to put this another layer. One thing you always got to remember is, which I completely just forgot, is make sure you have another layer added. Because if you don't add another layer, you end up colouring what you've done. With Dodge and Burn, you have to be on the layer you're editing. There we go. Oh, it just gives a bit of, you know, separation between the cloth and the character. Okay, right, we're coming up to the hour mark. Oh, a little bit more there. We do a bit more there. I'm gonna try the dodge tool a second, because what I want to see if I can do, or maybe that's the burn tool. I want to see if I can get a little sense of that being in the skin, but not really doing it. It's not really. Oh, I know why. I know why. I know why. Okay. Oh, sorry. Go back in layers. Need to go back in the skin. Oh, there we go. Need to go back in the skin layer. No, it won't do it. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we're going to go back. Going to add another layer on top of this. In fact, let's group these and put shade, shoulder, shade. Only reason being is so I know what I'm adding to it. So back to my brush. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm just adding a bit of dimension on the face, and it seems to be working quite nicely so far. Let's make this bit a bit smaller, because that's where his bottom of his mouth is. I'm trying to be really light with this as well, so as not to take too much out. Okay, so his face is starting to show a little bit of depth now. I know his eyes probably look a bit weird because they don't look, but that's one of the things we'll work on a bit later on. I like the fact his head looks like it's got a bit of a burn almost. I think it adds to the creep factor of this character. And this side needs to be a lot darker because it's in the shadow. Look, come on. A little bit funny there. Let me just check something a second. Right. So I've just noticed some of his hair is not. This shouldn't even be showing. So I'm going to raise this a second. At least I'm going to try. Only because I need the hair going in there. That looks better. So when we get to the hair, I'll sort that out. I'll fix that in the hair bit. But at least now it looks a bit more, makes more sense. So back to the brush. Back to my layer. Ooh. Too intense there. It's so easy to overwork a picture. So easy. Right. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out a bit. I'm fairly happy with that actually. It was kind of the way it came out is a bit of a surprise, but I'm fairly happy with that. Now I'm going to try this. Add a little bit of a blur to it. Then what will happen if I do a J? Ah, look at that. Now it's starting to. And this last one, I'm going to just blur it slightly more. But I think it's given. I quite like this. I think this has come out quite well. But unlike the hand, I think this has definitely come out a bit better. It's kind of given that skin's going dry and blah blah kind of a look to it. So I think that's working quite nicely. Right, so I'm going to do one final little touch, which is on that ear at the side there. Just want to finish that, get the ear, so that it looks like an ear. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my brush, go really, really small. Again, no, but not so much. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I think that's going to be it for tonight. But I'm quite pleased with how he looks. He is starting to look like he's a scary Frankenstein. Or Frankenstein's monster, I should say. Alright, well I'm going to call it a night there. But thank you, Mike. I just want to thank you again for those who've been watching. I hope you've been enjoying the process of these illustrations. I'm hoping to finish him this week. Well, in fact, I'm hoping to finish him in the next couple of days because I really want to get on with the Kraken. Although I might have to just do the Kraken very, very loosely coloured in and fix him in. But if it takes me longer, it'll take me longer. But I'd like to have this picture done by Halloween itself. But I think I'm quite happy with how this has come along. And as with the previous drawings, I will put the latest version of this on my Facebook page under the seasonal photo, so do check that out in the next few minutes. And again, thank you very much for watching and supporting the work that I do, and speak to you then. Good night, good night, good night. Well, there you have it. The hands are done, some of the skin tones done, did a bit of work on the ears and things like that. I've added my little anecdotes as and when I needed to, or left them in rather, I should say. I've tried to make this video as fun and as enjoyable as possible, but going forwards I will try and find a better way of presenting these videos for you. But anyway, I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the final parts of this particular series. Just a couple of final announcements. I have signed up to buymeacoffee.com. It's a great way to support the channel and it will help me improve my lighting and other equipment to make these videos even better for you. Secondly, I have a channel called ErfDragon Bricks where I do mostly Lego stuff. It won't all be Lego, but mostly Lego. And that channel is really starting to grow, and feel free to check that out. I used to have it on this channel, but I felt it needed to be on its own separate platform. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.
Wow, part 5, who would have thought? Well, if you want to see part 6, click that notification bell and subscribe. I got that all backwards. I like.
So we have reached part 4 of my Frankenstein's monster piece that I did in 2020. So we have reached part 4 of my 2020. So we have reached and don't forget to hit that. I have signed up to buy me a coffee. Why can't I? Right. Smile. And cut. Ow! No, joking.